Let's bring in Steve Palmer, who's listening, the father of 16-year-old Stan, who has Down syndrome. Hello, Steve.
Hi, Anna.
Hi. Now, you discovered, it wasn't from a pre-test, you discovered that Stan had Down syndrome when he was born.
Yes, on the day. So a doctor came in and said, oh, yeah, son's got Down syndrome, and then sort of walked out again. So, yeah, we discovered on the day. Other people find out during their pregnancy. So the diagnosis can come at different times.
Was it really broken to you like that?
Yes, it was. I'm in the lounge now, staring up at his 16-year-old birthday cards, because it was his birthday the other day, and it seems a long time ago, so I'm, in a way, not the right person to tell you what it's like in a hospital now when a child with Down syndrome is born. But I do know that the Down Syndrome Association had the Tell It Right, Start It Right campaign, where midwives and other birthing professionals are trained in how to be sort of relaxed and groovy about the news and how to break the news and how to deal with the situation, not just with the mothers, but also the family, the entire extended family when the news is broken. So my point is there's really no excuse for it not to be handled very well at the birth stage, or even at the stage during the pregnancy if it's found out then.
Yeah, which Brendan was advocating, which Jane was advocating as well. I wonder, Steve, how much did you know about Down syndrome before Stan was born?
It's funny you should say it, because just something Jane was saying, it triggered my memory. We took his brother, who's older than him, to the doctors one day, and there was a child with Down syndrome at the doctors, and I remember thinking, we've had a few tests, we won't be having a child with Down syndrome. And it was just the tests we had were all, it was a long time ago. They weren't invasive, and they didn't really tell us anything. So I was in that situation where I felt relieved at not facing that situation, or thinking I wasn't going to face that situation. So the fact that I'm an advocate and an activist now, and I blog and write about it, etc. Well, actually, there was a time when I didn't know a lot about it, and so it became a bit of a shock on the day, and it took me a couple of days to get used to the idea that I had not just another son, but another son who has a future, and a brother, and extended family.
I wonder, Steve, and I realise that this is a question that may well have no answer, but if you had known, and if you had at some point during the pregnancy a choice to make, do you know what choice you would have made in that situation?
My wife and I are very clear on this. We don't know, and I've been asked that before in the media, and I simply, honestly, do not know what would have happened. However, what's really important is to have that information at hand. If someone's, earlier I think it was Brendan, wasn't he, was saying it's really important to find out information. I'd go probably a stage further. I'd say, the offer's open. Come and meet my Stanley. He's 16 years old. He's a bundle of joy. He can present challenges. This morning he presented a challenge in getting to school because he suddenly didn't want to take his glasses and his hearing aids in his bag, and it was, he got quite upset, and it was a little bit stressful. But other times, I always maintain that I'm always learning lessons off Stanley. So, he's a 16-year-old boy who has learning disabilities. He needs support, but there's so much else that he does that amazes me on a daily basis. So come and meet someone like Stanley, and then decide, perhaps.
Yeah, and then make that decision. It almost...